When it comes to heartwarming, very few series come as close as Teasing Master Takagi-san. This is a series that I've been following for now 3 seasons, and I love every single minute of it. I guess being 3 seasons into this series at this point, really my kind of point of this video itself is to really push people to get caught up on this show, because 2 episodes into 3rd season, I am already sold on the direction it seems like it's going. But this is my thoughts on those first 2 episodes, so let's jump into it. Teasing Master Takagi-san is essentially a story about puppy love, the concept of 2 young kids and that introduction to love, what they're feeling and deep inside. And it really is kind of one-sided at first, but as time goes along, you really see this kind of forming relationship between the 2 of them, and that's again goes in that perspective of loving the fact that this show has gotten so many seasons adapted of it so far, and additionally a movie here this year. For those unfamiliar with the series and looking to check it out, I definitely recommend that, by the way. It essentially follows a girl named Takagi, and Takagi has interest in a boy named Nishikata. And this is something that's very apparent very early on, is that this girl, Takagi, is constantly teasing Nishikata, and Nishikata thinks that she's just kind of bullying him. But from our perspective, we really get an idea that, no, this girl really likes this guy and is doing everything that she can in order to interact with him. And yes, she does that by teasing him, but at the same time, he's always in his mind thinking, oh, this girl's gonna get me again. She's just teasing me. She got me again. She got me again. I hate the fact that she got me. He's always trying to one-up her as she is teasing him. It even goes so far that whenever Nishikata goes home, what does he do? He does push-ups for every time she teased him, and he fell for it. But what was really cute, and this gets into essentially where I feel like it's going with its 3rd season, is really trying to dive into that built relationship they have. Everything so far really has been Takagi teasing Nishikata, and that kind of wondering if he's ever going to figure it out. And I think with the ending of the 2nd season, we really did get this whole perspective of this date that they have, where they go to this festival, and that gets stuck in Nishikata's head. Again, we've always known that Takagi loves Nishikata. And even in this season, and we've already had him within the first 2 episodes, we have Takagi saying, I love you, him questioning what she said, and she going, oh, well, I'm just reading from this book. But I don't want you to read it, because in her head, that statement's not in the book. It was obvious that she was saying it to see what he would do. But again, like I said, we're now getting Nishikata really not able to get Takagi out of his head. He's starting to want her to be in his presence. As he's walking around, he's always thinking about, is she around the corner? And almost feeling sad that she's not there, even though she's following him. But also him not being able to get out of his head this moment at this festival. Again, this is that moment we're finally getting Nishikata realizing, I like this girl, and I can't get her out of my head. Even though she teases him like, oh, you had a dream about me? And he's getting embarrassed because he doesn't want to admit that. Oh, well, I would love to have you in my dreams. Again, we're transitioning. Yes, we're still getting a lot of that comedy is around the teasing aspect. That's really the bread and butter of this series, has always been that knack for the writer to create these really goofy situations between the 2 of them, almost feeling skit-based. You know, it cuts to another scene, and there's a subject about this scene. Well, like this particular season, we have a tan episode where it's talking about Nishikata getting a tan during summer, and what Takagi will do to tease him with that tan. We have the dream segment, the box, the dinosaur in the box. These each have a topic for the teasing element to it, but it always goes to a punchline that you're realizing that these 2 are getting closer and getting closer. And that's, again, where I get into season 3. And this is my biggest hope for this season, is to really get in that moment. Now, it could be in the movie. I'm perfectly okay with that, but I really am hoping at this point, I don't know exactly how far we're in the manga, but I really am hoping to finally get that payoff at the end of the season. Or again, like I said, the movie with this year. I really hope that we get that payoff. That payoff where, again, we finally get that acknowledgement of the 2 of them, because we've had again, we've already had Takagi basically saying it over and over again. We just need Nishikata to really, again, get, not that this is me saying that Nishikata has to accept her, but it's really that moment of him realizing these thoughts that he's having, and his maturity finally coming to a point where he realizes that he does love Takagi. Because I think the thing that this series has always established is this idea that Takagi is essentially more mature than he is, obviously. This concept here is a girl who is mature, knows what she wants, knows what love is, and is trying to pursue it. But it's never been the other way around. Nishikata has always been the more immature side of this whole story, him not knowing what love is and discovering that love. So it's discovered versus the undiscovered. And again, the payoff is going to be that moment where Nishikata finally discovers love. He finally matures past this whole, yes, fun, but this whole idea of this girl's out to get me, and then realizing, oh wait, no, this girl just wants me. I mean, that's the that's the plain part of it. I think obviously that still kind of holds back this series, and it's always kind of held back this series. It's something that co-host Chris from Otaku Spirit Anime Cast really does hit on is, yes, there's still a feeling that some of the story is kind of wasted, or some of the airtime is wasted. Let's put it that way. That yes, we do have technically side characters that never really amount to the degree that we get from Nishikata and Takagi. With that, such a great story and great chemistry that we get between Nishikata and Takagi, it really does feel like the writer loves to supplement sometimes, to take a break from them, to show side characters that, quite honestly, don't really add much to the show. And I think that's always been a weak point of the series, but at the same time, nothing that ever ruins it. Getting the perspective of these two other friends of Nishikata and them just being basically loners, and yes, having some chuckles from them here and there. Getting the perspective of Takagi's friends, these three girls, Yukari, Sanai, and Mina, as they deal with different things, and they're never again all that special. I think one of the groups that I did like was Mano and Nakai. They are basically two that are already in a relationship. They're like ahead of Takagi and Nishikata. I've always liked their story. They're very cute together, but I would admit that everything outside of Nishikata and Takagi, everything outside of Mano and Nakai, are really just feel like wastes. But again, it never ruins the show because they're always brief. And like I said, they always seem like a reprieve from the teasing master, basically. But either way, I'm still loving this series. I highly suggest people to go check out the first season and the second season. They are absolute gems. Again, if you're into something like a teasing type story, it's not at the levels of something like Nagatoro. Let's keep that in perspective. I think I've made a video already before on this idea of the teasing master, the teasing girl type genre that seemed to be flourishing and flourishing. This is one of the original ones. And Nagatoro was more in the pervy realm. It really does take it in a more mature direction. Whereas Takagi-san is really more puppy love. It's very innocent young kids and that discovery of what love is. Not so much this girl bullying some guy until they finally realize they kind of like each other. This is very more in the innocent realm. Very innocent and very puppy love-like. So if that sounds to you, definitely, like I said before, check out the first and second season. I'm sure you'll love it. I definitely love this series, and I highly suggest it, and I'm going to love Season 3, and I cannot wait for more. With all that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below, comment, let me know what you thought of the series, or if you enjoyed the series, or if you're going to finally check out the series, let me know your thoughts on it. I'm always interested to hear people going, look, I checked it out finally, and I like it, or I checked it out, it didn't work for me. But yeah, as always, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video if you can, support us on Patreon through the tips link in the description below. Definitely appreciate everyone it does, and y'all take care.